Hello my beautiful glam fam and welcome to today's video. We're testing out the brand new NATASHA DENONA I Need a Warm palette. Oh my gosh, you guys. This color story is so incredibly beautiful. As soon as I saw these pictures on Instagram, I was like, I gotta have this palette. It is so pretty, and these rich chocolate browns that can create the most beautiful latte makeup look. We're gonna compare it to some of my other NATASHA DENONA palettes, and we're gonna see if you've already have some of these other palettes. Do you need this palette? You guys know I will be upfront and honest with you guys. We're gonna create two different looks. I'm gonna do more of a smoky glam look in this portion of the video, and then tomorrow I'm actually gonna do more of a soft glam look, and I'll just probably roll some music over that and do it quite quick because I don't wanna take up too much of your time. So if you're new here, I'm Kristi. Grab a drink, let's have some fun. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get glowing.
Let's go, girl.
Alright, beautiful glam fam, let's jump right into it. So this is the brand new NATASHA DENONA I Need a Warm palette, and oh my gosh, you guys, look at how gorgeous this packaging is. It looks kind of like the I Need a Nude palette. I'll compare the two right there from last year, I want to say, but I do feel like there's differences, and you guys will see that in the color stories right there. So I have to show you the original pictures I did because I took apart my I Need a Nude palette because it wasn't exactly the color story that I personally love, although I loved some of the shades in there a lot. So I combined it with my glam palette, and the beauty of NATASHA DENONA palettes is they do have the holes in the back that you can just poke your tweezers or a needle, whatever you want to do. I usually use my scissors that I cut my lashes with, and I just pop those out and I create my own color story. With the gold palette that I recently reviewed, that was like, that's probably one of my, that's if not, this one and gold palette are, I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now up front, those are like my top two favorite palettes of all time from NATASHA DENONA. And what I loved about the gold palette is I didn't have to do any, I'm gonna use every single shade in that palette. This is the same thing with this palette. I will use every single shade in this palette. I don't feel like I have to interchange, where I felt like I had to with the other palettes from the past. So if that gives you guys any indication, at the end of the video, I will do some comparisons, just in case some of you are like, well, if I already have that, do I really need it? You don't need anything, but if you are a NATASHA DENONA lover and you like this type of color story, you're gonna pick it up. That's how I feel. So let's touch on the details really quick. This retails for $69 US. It's her standard midi size, so you're getting about 18.15 grams total and about 0.064 ounces. You get a 24-month shelf life with NATASHA DENONA palettes, which I absolutely love, and this is made in Italy. Always remember you can take 15% off with my NATASHA DENONA coupon code, and it's KristiAllure. So if you guys want to purchase this palette, I checked and it definitely works. I'll show you right there. My link is down in the description box below. You just click on that link, type in KristiAllure once you add it to your cart, and you get 15% off. So some people don't get that during the Sephora sale. So if you want to utilize it through her website, you can absolutely do that, or you can wait till the Sephora sale and that you'll get the 20, 15, or 10% off there. And then Ulta always runs really good deals as well if you guys want to wait, because I understand it's a tough economy right now. This warm tone nude palette features 6 mattes, 2 metallics, 1 multi-chrome, 2 sparkling foiled shades, and 1 duochrome finish, complemented by 1 brand new ultra smooth slip cream matte. So really excited to play with that with you guys. And 2 high foiled metal gloss formulas. So we have 2 new formulas in this, and we have 2 shades that are gonna fall into that high foiled metal gloss formulas, and I'll show you guys those shades right there. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. You have one more of like a vanilla shade and then one more of a rose gold type shade, but we'll touch on those shades in just a second. Alongside NATASHA's iconic formulas, this new talc-free slip cream matte formula glides extremely smooth onto the lids and is perfect for that easy and seamless finger or brush application, providing a highly pigmented, luminous matte finish. So you're not getting a real big matte finish with that, and I'll show you guys the swatch right there just really quick. So that is definitely, you could do a one and done with that because it is kind of like that cream to powder formula, a lot like my Armani Neo color bombs that you guys know I'm obsessed with, it reminds me a lot of that, where you're not getting an ultra matte finish, but this one is even probably a little bit more luminous than that one, I would say. But really amazing formula. I hope she does more of this because I'm really liking it. The new Metal Gloss eyeshadow adds reflective dimension and a mesmerizing liquid-like finish to your look with a harmonious combination of champagne hues and rich caramel, rosy copper tones. Before we go into the shades and swatches, I do want to show you guys what I love about NATASHA DENONA palettes is she really gives you this color story that kind of, if you look at the palette in fours, you can kind of see, okay, I can do a look with that four, I can do a look with that four, I can do a look with that four, or you can do the rows, like that last row would be a really beautiful chocolate smoky-eyed look. Oh, obsessed. So let's go over that first row. We have Soft Spot, which is a creamy matte medium earthy brown, Fancy, a metallic champagne, Mellow, a matte light peachy nude, and then we have the beautiful multi-chrome called Phenomena, and that's a peachy pink green, Ripe, a creamy matte light medium peach brown. Second row, we have Elm, which is a sparkling foiled light bronzy nude, Snug, a metal glossed soft bronze, that's the new formula, Vim, a matte deep warm brown, Push, a sparkling foiled medium rusty rose gold, Fervor, a matte medium warm caramel. Third row, we have Pep, a matte deep warm brown, Homey, the new metal gloss warm nude, Hanker, a metallic medium dark golden brown, Dynasium is a medium brown with green sparkle. And then the last one is the brand new Slip Cream Matte Medium Clay Brown, and that is called Flashover. Again, just a beautiful color story. Shades, I know I will use all of these shades. It really is an all-season color story. You can use this now in the summer, you can use it in the fall, winter, spring. I mean, this is a year-round type of palette, and I do appreciate that for a $69 price point. Before we jump into the actual application portion, I do want to show you guys, this is the way I've been prepping my eyeshadow base lately, and I really like it. So I will go in with my Milk Hydro Grip primer. Lately, this has been really helping me. Now, Milk does have an eyeshadow grip primer. I didn't think it was that amazing and I threw it out. Maybe I'll change my mind later on. Maybe I'll pick it up again and see if it would be better around the eye. I don't know, but I do feel like the Hydro Grip grips even more than the eyeshadow one of Milk. But it just a small amount, and I just use that and I just kind of pat that in. Give it a little bit of time before you go in with your next product, but it's amazing. And then I went in with my Gerard Clean Canvas and Fair, and I just take that on my fingers and I try to just kind of warm it up on the back of my hand, but I used a little too much product there. You really want to use a minimal amount of that product. You don't need a lot. And I do this before I do my face base so then I can clean up later on. And I'm using the Rose & Ben C31, and that's giving you that fingertip type application where it's really pressing that base in there and really creating a nice, beautiful canvas for our eyeshadow look. And then I just take my beauty sponge and I just start dabbing it all over. And I'm not worried about it looking weird around the eye because I'm gonna clean that up and do my face makeup next, which is why I kind of like to start off with that first. And then I just go in with my Charlotte Tilbury and my rougher 33 brush. It just has that pointed tip where it allows me to place that powder, and I'm pressing it in because we used the Hydro Grip, so it's still a bit tacky, so you don't want to swipe. You want to press and smooth that out first. And I'm really just focusing on the crease and the upper brow area because the lid, I don't want too much powder there. All right, you guys, let's go in with Ripe. That's the first lightest matte shade, I would say, and that's described as a matte light medium peach brown. I'm just gonna kind of use that as a transition really quick, just on the upper area, because I'm gonna use that first shade in the palette called Soft Spot. I'm gonna use that below it, but I just wanna have like a little anchor right here, and I don't want it too aggressive. We're just kind of softly putting that on the lid like that. And I'm just gonna take that same shade and I'm just gonna softly put that down. And this is a natural hair brush, so it's gonna give me a much softer approach. And just creating a nice little area for us to keep transitioning up. All right, you guys, now let's go into that first shade called Soft Spot, and that's gonna give me a little bit more depth, but really pretty. We're gonna use my Rougher 01 brush, and I'm going to take that brush and just dip it in. And I'm actually gonna go on the flat side of that brush, and I'm just gonna start pressing that in here. Pressing it in, and then we'll swipe later. So what do you guys think of this palette? Let me know in the comments section. Were you excited when you saw Natasha post this? That's where I first saw it, was on Natasha's page. When I first saw that she was releasing this, I was like, oh my gosh. She had just released the gold palette, and you guys know I'm obsessed with the gold palette. Still to this day, I'm obsessed with the gold palette. It's so pretty. All right, I'm gonna go back in with that first brush. We're gonna go back into that first shade we used called Ripe, and we're just gonna go over that now. All right, now we're gonna take that shade in the middle called Mellow, and that I'm just gonna kind of pop that onto the brow bone area. I'm just taking that right there. This brush is very soft, so it's just lightly placing that there, just to create a nice little soft transition there. Going back in with that first brush, no extra product. Now what I'm gonna do, just to kind of make it a little bit more brown, okay, I am gonna take my NATASHA DENONA, and this is the Contour Sculpting Powder. You guys, if you are a Glam Fam sister, you know how much I used to love this powder. And this is in 03 Warm. I do have a more neutral shade one. I don't know where it's at, but this is better because this is more of a warm palette. And I'm gonna do this so I can transition this into my nose area. So I'm gonna take probably this Rose and Ben brush, and this is the E29. And I'm gonna take that. It's a very soft brush, but it's synthetic. So it's gonna allow that pigment to stay in there. And I'm gonna go over this now, that whole area. And you could do this with any of your contour powders. But this one was nice because it's warm. Now, I don't think they offer this one at Sephora anymore. I think you have to get this one on her site, and maybe Beautylish might have it. Just very softly bringing that into the nose contour so that it all just kind of transitions effortlessly. Okay, now let's play with this Slip Cream shade. Oh my God, I'm so excited to show you guys how cool this shade is. I'm gonna go all over the lid with this. And then later on, we're gonna carve out that middle and kind of create more of a halo look. I didn't do this yesterday, I just did it on the inner and outer, but I wanna try this to see how the metallics adheres to this, because we're gonna use that beautiful duochrome in this look. Yeah, this brush is perfect. This is the Rose and Ben C31. This is a perfect brush for this formula. And I'm just pressing that in. Now I'm gonna take my What's Up Beauty R109, and that's more of like a cylinder dense brush, and I used this color yesterday on it. And I'm just gonna press that one right here, just so we can start creating that outer V area. So this one you can swipe, like she said, you can diffuse it out. I'm gonna bring that right there. We know her matte formulas, so that's why I really wanna focus on this one. Going back to the Rose and Ben, I feel like this shade is gonna go fast with me. I wish she would sell some of these shades separately. She used to sell individuals of hers, but I don't know if she still does that anymore. And I'm just taking that Rose and Ben, and we're just pushing that in there, really pushing that in there. Oh my God, that's so pretty. Like seriously, that could be like a one and done once I clean up. I really like this formula, you guys. I really do. I'm gonna take the finger and just press it in there and see what kind of intensity we get out of that. And we're just playing. Oh, that's amazing, you guys, amazing. All right, now we're gonna diffuse it out with a different color, but I'm gonna wipe off this What's Up Beauty, and this is the R109 again. I'm gonna wipe it off because I don't want excess product. I don't want to keep building, and we're just going to start diffusing that out, but keeping the density of this brush because we don't want to lose the pigment. Oh, you guys, So pretty. What do you think? What do you think? All right, let's go in with that shade in the middle, and that one is called Vim, and that is described as a matte, deep, warm brown. I'm gonna use the Rougher 14 brush from the new Alexandra Anel collection. Just gonna focus that on top. We're kind of building back up into that transition. No fallout, which is really nice. Gorgeous mattes as always with NATASHA Denona. This is like the perfect latte eyeshadow palette, seriously. And then I'm just gonna start bringing that into that inner space right there. In the middle, we're gonna do more of a duochrome, so it's gonna lighten up later on. Oh, ho, ho. So pretty. All right, we're gonna go back in with a Rougher 01 brush, going back into that soft spot, the first shade in the palette. Just doing a little bit on that brush. And we're gonna go above this and just kind of start softening that out. Now I'm gonna go back to that Rose and Ben brush. I'm gonna go back to the NATASHA Denona contour shade, and I'm gonna go over that. See how that just softly diffuses that out? And you can use your bronzer at home. You don't need that particular product. Just use whatever you have at home. Just softens everything out. Now I'm gonna take that Sigma E40 and we're just gonna there's nothing on that brush, and I'm just diffusing things out now. Just really blowing this eyeshadow look out, because for me, this is just that perfect blowout type of shades. Going back to the Rougher 14, and we're gonna take a little bit of that shade Fervor. Oh my God, I love this. It's like a caramel matte brown. I like this new Rougher brush, or I like this number 14, because it allows me to get there without it getting too aggressive if I used a different brush that was too big. And I'm just using that to kind of soften out those edges, but add some more warmth to this look and really transition another medium type brown into those other lighter shades we used earlier. So I'm going to use this BK Beauty A504, and we're going to go into that first shade the first shade in the third row, and that is the darkest creamy matte formula she has in here, and that is called Pep. And we're going to take that onto the outer V area, and I'm just pressing that in. Just building some depth on that outer V. I'm gonna press the remainder in there. And then whatever's left over on the brush, we're gonna kind of just bring that in. I didn't want to dip back in because we don't want it to be too aggressive there. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the inner portions where I want kind of that halo to start. So pretty. All right, going back into that Rougher brush. Sorry for my neighbor's dog. All right, I'm gonna wipe that brush off, and then I'm gonna go back into that caramel brown called Fervor. And I'm gonna go above that now. It's always just kind of going backwards. You could have stopped a long time ago. It's just my thing. We're kind of just playing. When I do this, I just like to play with these shades and show you guys how they look. Nothing on this brush. Again, just blowing that out again. Now let's go in with a little bit of that first shade, just a little bit, and we're gonna go above that. We're gonna do my Victoria Beckham brown liner, but I'm gonna start off with this Melt, and this is called Apricot Cream. I'm gonna put this on the inside of my eyelids, like right here. Always put a puff on your face, especially if you already have your makeup done. It goes really well with this palette. And then we're gonna use my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in, I think it's called Cocoa. Before we do this, I might add depth with this later, but let's try this Slip Cream as a liner. Let's do that first. Let's use this Rose and Ben eyeliner brush. I've been wanting to try this, her wing brush. This is the I'll put the number right there. I actually just saw Rose do this, how to do wing liner, although you know I don't wear wings and I don't like wings on myself, but if you were to do wing liner, she was saying that if you have hooded eyes, that it's better to do a reverse cat eye type. Instead of doing the wing on top, it's gonna open up your eyes a little bit more. In my opinion, that's what I'm thinking she's meaning, so I just briefly watched it. So what you would do is you would just bring that up like that and create, I like a soft cat eye if I do one, so that would be the amount I would do. But I want to see what this would be like as a liner. Now some people don't bring in their liner that close to the eye. I kind of like it. This brush is nice. It's that nice bend. If you like wing liner, whew, this is gonna be good. I like the flexibility of this brush, especially for my shaky hands. So this is kind of leaving like a cream base right there. Ooh, that's really pretty. So if you want more of a soft look, like that's perfect. But because I want a little bit more glam, I'm gonna go in with, and you could even just take the matte shade and go over that, but I just want a little bit more depth. So I'm gonna go in with the brown eyeliner. You guys know I'd typically use my Sephora one, but that's not available anymore. And Natasha uses a lot of, she doesn't include a lot of dark mattes in her palettes because she uses a lot of liner as a base. If you ever notice that, she always uses liner. I'm gonna take that same brush, nothing on it, and we're just gonna kind of start to blend, because it's a very creamy type of eyeliner. Taking a little bit of that product. I really like this brush. This was everything I was kind of looking for. Okay, I'm gonna take my Refer number 23, nothing on the brush, and I'm gonna start softening out that inner portion. All right, I am going to take that darkest matte shade. We're just gonna set this creamy liner down, because this liner, if you don't set it down, it will last all day, but if you don't set it with the powder, in my opinion, it gets a little messy. I'm gonna take the Refer number 3 brush, and we're gonna go into that medium brown shade called Vim, and we're gonna go underneath that. Really beautiful. We're gonna go in a soft spot onto my Refer number 13 brush. We're gonna go underneath that. This is giving me more of a fluffier blend, but it's perfect for getting in there and doing that. Just like that. Ooh, once I clean up, ooh, it's gonna be so pretty. All right, let's try out these duochrome shades. You guys know I can't do a look without my Pat McGrath Intensifies, so if you like that really impactful metallics, this is a product you need in your life. Watching my card to make sure I'm not gonna run out of space here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my finger, and excuse my nails, I need to give them a break from press-ons just to get them nice and healthy, and I just have polish, gel polish on. I just did myself at home. And I'll put my nail stuff on if you like this color. It's really nice and easy to apply and cheap on Amazon. All right, we're gonna take this, let's go in with the first shade, and that's called Snug, the first brand new wet metallic shade. And we're gonna take that onto my finger. We're gonna do this before we go in with that duochrome. We're gonna lay this down as kind of like a base. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, so this glided on even better with that Pat McGrath. Oh, and we're just focusing it right there because we do not want it all over the lid, because I want to do more of a halo. Again, same shade on my middle finger. Showing you guys what it's like with my finger first, and then we'll go in with a brush. Again, Pat McGrath. I can't live without this Intensifies. All right, now I'm gonna take this Rose and Ben, and this is the C30, and this is gonna give you like that fingertip, the density on this, and I don't know, the bristles, it just allow you to kind of get that finger like type of application. So I'm gonna take that same shade, we were using the new one, and I'm just gonna start kind of taking that onto the edges. All right, let's try out this duochrome really quick. Actually, before we do that, because we want to transition the dark into the light, we're gonna take this shade called Dynamium, and that's the other duochrome. What I like about these duochromes, they're not like Danessa Myricks type of duochromes where they're so intense and you really see those shifts. This one, you see the shifts, like you can see right there. You can see that reflect, especially in that lighter shade when I kind of wave the palette back and forth. but you don't see it as much on the eye. Maybe outside you will, but not in my light. All right, I'm gonna take this on to this Rougher 21 brush. And again, we're going in with the darker duochrome called Dynamium. And that has like a brown, it's like a chocolate brown with a green sparkly shift in it. And I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna kind of dip that off a little bit. And I'm just gonna pop that right there, and that's gonna transition that into the rose gold one we just used. All right, back to Pat McGrath. This is one item, again, I would recommend if you really like intensity in your metallics, or you just want your metallics to stay, your shimmers to stay, or you want it just to be a little bit sparkly, even if it's a subtle look, you need this in your life. Grab it during the sale. I'm gonna go in with that beautiful duochrome. Actually before, oh, look at, see, you can see the shift on my finger though. You can see the shift. Look at it's pulling like yellow and pink almost in this lighting. Matches my top. Ooh, that's pretty. But before we do that, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. You're seeing that shift. Let's go in with that shade called Push really quick. And we're just gonna take that, and I just wanna test this one out too. We're just gonna, I had a little bit of fallout with whatever shade I just used right there. We're gonna use that right down the center. This is just one of her regular metallic shades. I'm just kind of laying down a base before we put the duochrome. With duochromes, I find that you lay down the same shade, you lay down a base first, and I promise you guys, you're gonna love it. All right, going in with that Phenomenia, whatever it's called, and we're gonna pop that down the center. That's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Wowzo. All right, we're gonna take this brush that we were using, the Rose and Ben, and we're gonna go into, we're gonna dip the brush into the intensifies. Okay, now we're gonna take that duochrome on a brush to see what kind of impact we get with the brush now. I just like to test it out for you guys so you guys can see what you feel. You gotta go with what you feel is the best method. Yeah, there's something really special about this brush. This is gonna be my favorite packer brush now. And I want to thank Rose and Ben because she sent these over to me. I reached out to her because I really wanted to try more of her brushes, and I only owned a couple of them. And I was just so sweet of her. She was right on it. She was like, absolutely, no problem. It was just so incredibly sweet. So thank you so much, Rose. She's such a good educator, you guys. Let's go in with that first shade, this the brand new one that we use called Snug, that wet metallic, and we're gonna go over that just to lighten it up a little bit, but not take away the duochrome effect. I just like the way that looks. What I've liked to do recently is I just take any type of setting spray. This is one of my favorites. This is the Makeup Forever. I don't even know if this is around anymore, but I use Morphe sometimes too. I just spray the brush, okay? Nothing on it, I just spray it, and then I go over this. And this helps it stay so that you don't wear off through the day, especially if you have watery eyes like I do. This is just helping with the staying powder, and it's kind of bringing out some of those sparkles too. I've been liking to do this lately. I just was like, I need to find a way, because I was spraying it directly and then I was like, oh, I don't like that. So I found that doing it on a brush first really, really helps. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of that shade, new shade, and now we have even more impact, right? Because we wet the brush a little there. We're gonna use this Rose and Ben. This is part of her travel set, and it literally looks like a finger. It's crazy, it's so cool. And I think that will go really nice in that area. Oh my God, that fits like directly into that area. So I'm gonna use that first shade Elm. Okay, we're gonna pop that onto the inner corner like that. And actually, let's go in with that first one, that other one, the other new one called Homie. It's so funny. I wonder where she came up with these names. We're gonna take Homie, since it's a new shade. We're gonna lay that down as like a base there. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Don't worry, we're gonna blend it out with other shades, but ooh, yeah. Okay, I like that. Okay, now we're going back in with Elm. Really like this brush for the inner corner. Now I do have her other inner corner type brush too, but I really wanted to try this one. Ooh, I like that. All right, taking that first number 14 brush, and we're just gonna kind of start to blend that. I didn't use Hanker. That was the shade I wanted to use to transition the dark into the light. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's go in with that BK Beauty, and this is the 209 brush, and we're gonna go into Hanker, okay? And I'm gonna pop that one right here. Yeah, that was the one I used yesterday. Shoot, I used the wrong shade. That's okay, we tried it out. We wanted to try out different shades. Yeah, Hanker is perfect to transition the dark into the light. And that has like a green shift to it. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, now we literally used every shade. Going back in with that middle shade. Back to the E40. All right, you guys, I think that's it. I'm just going underneath there too. I am gonna pop on my lashes and I will be right back. Hey Glam Fam, so I'm inserting this portion because this day one took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, and I don't want to take up too much of your time today. So I am actually going to release that look right there, which is day 2, on a different video. So stay tuned for that. That will be in an upcoming video. But this is a look I created today on day, well, 5 or 6 that I've been playing with this palette, and I actually combined the I Need a Nude NATASHA Denona palette with this one, and I actually ended up taking out a couple of these shades and I flip-flopped it with a couple of the shades from the I Need a Nude palette that I absolutely love, like that pink one right there. Oh my god, I love that shade so much. So leave a pink emoji down in the comments if you guys want me to recreate this look. I absolutely love it, and I think it's really neat to be able to combine both of the palettes, even though one's more on the cool neutral and one's more on the warm side. I think they still look so beautiful together. All right, you guys, I will see you in a little bit. This palette is so versatile, and it really can be so natural, but also very glam and smoky-eyed and chocolatey, and just right up my alley, because the Latte look is my favorite eyeshadow look ever created. And it really is a combination of kind of neutral warm browns where you're getting this beautiful ethereal type shades in here with the copper tones, the peachy tones, but you also get those depth shades from that dark brown. This palette really, to me, is absolutely worth it. So I'm not gonna go over my whole rate card because I wanna keep this short and sweet, but I do wanna just give this an all around 5 stars, you guys. The application and the formulas, that I wanna concentrate on the 2 new formulas because that's what's different about this palette. That Slip Cream formula is insanely good. I really, really like it. I hope she starts including that in other palettes. I love to see some neutral contour brown shades in that formula. Oh my gosh, and it's talc free for like Jessa and some of my girls out there that don't like talc. Now there is talc in some of the other shadows, but that one in particular, she pointed out that was talc free. And I really like these 2 new wet type formulas, these foiled. Now they're not as, I do think the lightest one has a little bit homey, has a little bit more impact than the rose gold one did, and it's just more my cup of tea, but not to say that the rose gold one isn't beautiful. The duochromes, like I said, they shift in a very complementary way, whereas some trio chromes can be a little too intense and almost can look a little not right? Where these still look, you can see the shift, but they still look really beautiful. Would I recommend this palette? Absolutely, you guys. 100% of me would repurchase this once I hit pan, because I have a feeling this one and the golden one I will hit pan on. I really love those 2 palettes so incredibly much. Let's take a look at them side by side just so you guys can kind of see. They're very different. Very different, because one's more gold, one's more, and again, this has new formulas. So keep that in mind when comparing it to other palettes. These are my top 2 NATASHA Denona palettes ever made. Hands down, the best palettes in my opinion. I think the gold palette, the original gold palette, would have been one of my top ones as well, but my goodness, you guys, it is so good. I would say if you were to say rank them right now for me, this would be, I don't know, these would be kind of tied. Maybe this one a little bit more just because I love golds, but I don't know, because I like this new formula, so they're kind of tied. They're tied. And then I would say the next would be the Biba palette. And if you were wondering if there's any similarities, and we'll kind of just touch on that real quick, with the Biba palette, I would say No. I mean, you have warm tones here, but they're very different. You know, you've got your oranges, you've got some gray tones in there. This is really matte. This is a very matte palette. Matte, you don't see those sparkly shades in there. You don't see the new formulas in there. But in my opinion, this type of palette, this size, her regular palettes are $129. I feel like the formula is even a little bit better in my opinion. This might be a little dry now, but it still works. I don't use it as often, to be quite honest with you. Now, if you have the Sunset palette and you're asking if I have this palette, do I need that palette? Very different. I mean, you got your pops of yellow, you have your reds. So that to me is, and this is again, another matte focused palette. I would say maybe the closest would be this one. This is the bronze palette, but I took this palette apart. So I don't have, as far as like warm tones, but even here, I mean, you've got like purple there. I don't know. I mean, you've got like more depth, I would say, but obviously this is missing. If I can find the pictures from the original bronze palette, I'll show you right there, but very different. I personally think very different. Of course, you're gonna see some of those brown tone shades maybe along the same lines, but I just don't think it's anything remotely the same. And then this is my other favorite palette from Natasha Denona, and the Yucca palette's probably up there with some of my top palettes. Now this is very different. This is warm, but these have more like yellow tones. You've got your pop of teal, you've got your highlighted green one. You can see the look. I'll pop the card right there, but I still love this palette so much. So I would say it would be a tied with those first two, and then I would say because they're more everyday shades, it would be a So the thing is with this one is that I combined the two. So I didn't like the palette altogether. You know, like I liked the I Need a Nude palette. It's really pretty. More pink tones, more neutral, cool tones if you like that look. But some of these shades are from the Glam palette, so ignore that. But I'll show you guys right there, the original Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette versus like the pictures. I'll just do them side by side there because I tore it apart. I made this palette, which is would be my top three, but this has some of the I Need a Nude shades in here mixed in with the Glam palette. But really, I mean, this was like my ultimate travel palette right here. This is the one I took, but I didn't have a lot of warm tones in there. So that made it very different. Glam palette was very different from this one. This is obviously very much more warm nude shades. I mean, truly is a nude warm shade. So I really like the name of it. I personally think that's a great name for this palette, and it got us excited because this was definitely more neutral light, almost neutral cool leaning, where this one is definitely has the warmth in there. And although I love a cool tone look, you guys know that, this was just had a little bit too much more pinks in there that I knew that I wouldn't utilize as much, where I know I'll utilize these shades on an everyday basis. This is probably going to be between this one and the golden palette are the two palettes I'll probably reach for the most. And what I like is you still have a little bit of a neutral shade in there, you know, with that shade. So that's what's nice about it too. I don't feel like you can really compare so much of these because you got some new formulas in there. So if you're a Natasha Denona lover, you're gonna buy the palette, whether you have all of these other palettes like I do, and this is just some of them. It's just the ones that I kind of I would reach for the most. I am definitely a fan of this, and I'm definitely glad I spent my money on this. I didn't get it in PR, I bought it myself, and like I said, I had the Sephora Visa credit card, so I build up my rewards, buy my groceries, everything, so I can build up money on there to buy something like this or something like Tom Ford. Like I bought the Tom Ford blush with like $75 in credits, and it brought this blush down to hardly anything compared to the $95. And this is one of my favorite blushes now of all time. And this is Explicit Flush. Now I don't have this on in this look, but I've been using this in a lot of looks lately. I would say that and the Surratt blushes are the best blush ever made. And then I have today on, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Tan Deep, and I wanted more of that terracotta type shade, so that's what I have on today. Everything I have on my face, I will have a link down in the description box, and it will take you to that page, and you can shop this entire look that I have on. So I will have that in the description box. I will have my code again. You can take 15% off with NATASHA DENONA. On her site, you just click on my link. I'll show you briefly again. Use my code KristiAllure and you will get 15% off of this palette. Or you can wait till the sales for Sephora coming up here in the fall, and also for Ulta. So I hope that helps you guys out in deciding. Let me know your favorite NATASHA DENONA palette below, whether it's a mini, midi, her regular size, even the bigger ones. I'd love to know your favorites, so please share that in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and thank you for joining me today. If you are new here, before you go, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click the post notification bell. Join our beautiful glam fam. We're here every week, and we just love for you to join our gorgeous, gorgeous glam fam community and sisterhood here. And I am probably going to switch it to 9 a.m. I was doing Sunday 8 a.m. PT Pacific time, but I think I'm going to switch it to 9 a.m. for just a little bit and see if that helps out my numbers. And if you are new here and you haven't subscribed, again, when you hit the subscribe button, when you hit the like button, when you comment below, all of that really helps my channel out. So really, you don't know how much that means to me. If you're like, Kristi, I can't afford to get anything right now, I completely understand. This economy is horrendous right now, and a lot of us are just trying to pay the bills right now, trying to get our groceries, trying to get clothes and stuff like that for kids. So I completely understand. Just you watching my videos all the way through to the end, all of that shows YouTube people are interested in my videos, and then they'll push me out through the algorithm more. I have been having really low views, and I spend so much time and money too reviewing these products because I don't get a lot of products in PR. So I greatly appreciate that support, you guys. I really do. Thank you so much. I do upload weekly shorts, and I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. You can check out my blog, KristiAllure.com. All of these products will be down in the description box, but they'll also be right here on the time bar, and you can just click it through YouTube now. So we have a YouTube affiliate, and you guys, will take you right to the Sephora site, and you can purchase through there, or you can use my Shop My link or my affiliates on my website. So all of that is available. Thank you so much for all the love and support you guys give me. Be sure to check out that video next. I will see you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm holding on, if almost gone. Someday I know I'll finally make it. I know that we can go higher if we keep our faith, if we keep our faith. Sometimes I'm like